We should be live. Welcome everyone to Coffee and Coaching episode 2. Cheers.
Cheers.
Click, click. With Coach Kylie and myself, Coach Mel, founder of and creator of the LEAP method. And Kylie is our head and lead coach inside the LEAP coaching method. And each and every week, we have ladies and men that are crushing it. So today we are going to dive into the first core value, or core area, I should say, of life, because there are 9 core areas of life. And ultimately we are going to cover and dive into these. We have a little announcement before we get started with that coaching and coffee is going to become a weekly staple in our lives, because people love it and want to hear from us on a more frequent basis. So I think with our core, I was thinking, Kylie, with these core areas of life, that maybe we do every other week with the core areas of life, and then take something, maybe we'll post up in the group each week and find out something that all of our people who are engaging with us really want for us to expand on, and just
I love that.
How we do that. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's great. I think that's exciting, and we have a lot of people that are engaged in this group, so I would love to hear what they want, and we can talk about that and address those things as well. I think that's a great idea.
Awesome. Then that's what we'll do. And I think, it's really awesome to see each week the post that you do for our top ladies who are engaging in the group, and just all of that, because it really, with anything, we've talked about, and again, before we dive into this core area of life, but we talk about all the time, there's this 93% of people who are really, or 97% of people who are really not succeeding in the areas of their life that they want to succeed in. And there's this 3%, and people are like, well, how do you know that? And, you and I know, because we see example, this group here, we're providing all of this free information that if you were to go ask another coach for that type of information, they'd be like, sure, I'll give you that information, but I'm going to charge you $1,000 for that information. And so we see that it's 3% of the people are engaging in the group. 3% of, people who go to a gym actually, or have a gym membership, I should say, actually go to the gym. 3% of people who jump into challenges and those things that gyms offer, it's 3% who are actually utilizing, or even free stuff you find on Facebook or whatever. And, that's where it's 97% to really almost, I would probably actually say 100% of our LEAP coaching clients, they're engaged, they're crushing.
Oh yeah.
And so there's the difference, is because when you have that mentorship and that guidance and that cohesive community of people who are either in a similar spot, the exact same spot you were when you started, and have moved forward or whatever, they're seeing that,
Absolutely. Yeah, and when we have our weekly group calls, these are the ladies of LEAP that are so dedicated to their growth, and just to watch the growth and to watch this percentage of our engagement and the percentage of these women just crushing their goals each week. It's incredible.
Yeah. And it's really neat to see how they change their lives. And then all of a sudden they notice this massive impact that they're having on their family, their friends, their people they work with. There's this huge ripple effect that happens, and they become a leader in their selves, which then allows them to be a leader in all the other areas too, which is really cool.
That is so true. And I hear it all the time from the ladies that I coach of, I have one client that is visiting her family, and every morning her dad is asking her, ooh, what is on your nutrition plan today? I can't wait to see what you get to eat. And just the support and love that she's getting, but they're excited about the changes that they're seeing in her and her mindset and her dedication to herself. So again, it's just incredible to watch.
Well, and then you look at the level, when Thanksgiving came around, and to see how well these people navigated their life through a holiday and created success and progress. And there wasn't this high level of anxiety and stress about going to a family function. There wasn't this high level of stress and anxiety about the fact that the holidays in general are coming up, and they're very confident moving through the season because life has all the different seasons. It will never be exactly the way it is each and every day. And so how do you best as a human being utilize your abilities to navigate that and to see that growth inside of them has just been amazing.
Absolutely.
So
big win.
But yeah, so big shout out to all of our LEAP clients and their continued growth and success. But ultimately, we aren't here to just talk about them, even though they're absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So the first core area of the 9 core areas of life that we always touch on is health and wellness. And I know a lot of people are like, but Mel, like you guys focus so much on habit and mindset and all of these things. Why would health and wellness be first when, like when it comes to fitness and those types of things? Like, we all know how to move. It's not an area. I mean, we provide fitness things for people and how to better navigate that with their lifestyle and the things that they love, but it's really not a pinnacle point. And so I know, like when you and I have talked, health and wellness, we always tell all the people that we work with is when we don't have our health, mental and physical, we don't have anything else.
Yep.
There's nothing else. And so, that's why it's the first core area, because if we don't start getting that piece in place, then the other 9 core areas of life can't ever progress.
Nope.
Because we have
the foundation.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And so I guess talk a little bit about, in that health and wellness realm, some of the things when you're working with the clients and the clients that we work with inside of LEAP, how impactful just some of those shifts mentally about health and wellness have impacted them.
Absolutely. And I think we've touched on it a few times in our group. We are all inundated with information on health and wellness, right? Through social media, through TV, like everywhere. It's everywhere. And half of it is just malarkey. Half of it is so not true. And so I think a lot of the first steps is really debunking all of these things that have been programmed into our mind, either from our childhood and our way that we related with food and culture that way, into like, grab an energy bar for breakfast because you're in a rush and not eating properly. And so I think definitely the first things that we debunk is everything is reprogramming your mind and reteaching you things about health and wellness, so that you know what is truly good for you and what is just a waste of your time and is doing more damage to your metabolic system.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, and go ahead.
Oh no, that's where I see a lot of growth is when those light bulbs come on, and I can see it. I can see the exact moment in the program where it happens, where that shift happens and they get it and it clicks.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you made a key point is there's so much being thrown at us all the time. And, and I've been in this industry for 24 years. 24 years ago, I started in the health and wellness industry, and so much has changed just since I've gotten into the industry. And all the things that are being thrown at us are specifically designed to, by the food industry, by the pharmaceutical companies, by supplement companies, and are supplements bad? No, but 99% of it is crap, or why they want you to take it is crap. And that's why it's important, again, like working with a coach when it comes to supplementation, because even our ladies, like we don't talk about supplements for quite a while, and then it's a slow integration of certain supplements, because you taking a supplement when you're unhealthy and your metabolism is shit, you're wasting your money because the supplement itself is there to supplement a healthy human being.
You gotta get you healthy first.
Exactly. And so then the other point that you made was debunking then all these things, because it's all marketing. It's all, everything out there is just, we're going to market this, market this, market this, market this. And guess what? When you fail at this thing, then we're going to sell you the next thing so you can fail at that so we can sell you the next thing. And we're just going to continue to compound it. And that is not why you got in the health and wellness industry. It's not why I got in the health and wellness industry. We got in it to, again, debunk these things and reprogram so human beings can be healthy. And I think we do a really good job with starting that process right here. And that's why we give the information inside this group away for free.
Yep.
Because we want you to understand what it is to have a healthy metabolism. And we also want you to understand how the things you have been doing have actually been deteriorating that, but how it can be fixed and how it's not an end all be all, and that your health and wellness is something that can be turned around, but doing it in the right way. And it allows for the people inside this group to get to know us and to know that we truly care. And we're not here to be like, hey, buy our program so it's another program you add. It's no, invest in yourself. So this is the last investment.
Yes, it is. And it is the last investment, because everyone gets the tools that they need to do this for a lifetime. And that's why I love this program so much, is because it's not like a gimmicky program. It's something that works. It's a lifestyle change, a mindset state change, and really just understanding how your body works and what it needs as fuel. And I always love it. Like the first week on the program, the ladies are like, it's so much food. Like, I can't believe how much I get to eat. It's not about causing you not to have things. It's not about horrible calorie deficient diet plans. That's not what it is. It's about fueling your body with the nutrition that it needs, that's good for your metabolic system. And so they are always amazed about, I get to eat, and then they realize how much that they've been depriving their body for all of these years once they're eating proper nutrition, and the energy levels just soar through the roof from there.
Yeah, well, and depriving themselves of foods they love. Like our ladies have waffles, they have pancakes and things that they enjoy.
French toast was the topic in our group chat this weekend.
I saw that. Everyone's like, I love French toast. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly it, is this deprivation and this thought process of, I need to decrease calories to create a healthy body. And it's the absolute opposite. And that's why we work so heavily too on the habit and mindset formulation process, because it's scary to a lot of people when they're starting that health and wellness recovery. Let's call it that. Recovery it's hard to navigate yourself and trust yourself in that process and see that success, because it's been, well, I did this thing, and I thought I had success, but we all know that true success, or true results, they last. Results last. Are they always perfectly? No, maybe not, but they do last. And then the results last because of that habit mindset formulation, because of the proper things you do with your nutrition. But where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. That's why we do these live, right? So it's just, here we are. We also are not perfect.
And that's okay.
Right, exactly. Because it isn't about perfection. What I was going to say is that you had mentioned energy, and that is, energy, less digestive issues. And we're going to talk poop. Like, people have a lot of pooping issues when they come in. And that is a typical sign of poor metabolism and poor metabolic function. And so seeing those things too, we have a lot of ladies that are like, wow, I'm going to the bathroom regularly. I have more energy. I'm sleeping better. Like, all of these things, and for those of you who are watching us right now, if you haven't been tagged or have seen and would like to be tagged in that metabolic spectrum, like, that's a huge wake up call, because it allows you to watch that training and then be able to recognize where you are metabolically. So please comment below if you'd like to be tagged in the metabolic spectrum. Do a hashtag metabolism or something along those lines, and Kyla, make sure you get tagged in that. But all of those issues, you see those starting to change. And this is where the 9 core areas of life start really playing a cohesive realm, I guess, together, because the lack of confidence in so many of the people that we work with, not just in their day-to-day life, their relationships and all the other 9 core areas of life, but even in their health and wellness. And when they can see those little changes where joint pain is decreased, where they no longer have acid reflux, they can eat foods that they thought they were allergic to when it really wasn't an allergic reaction at all. It was simply their metabolism was so effed up. And they're like, all these little tiny micro changes are taking place just in the first several weeks of being inside the LEAP method, that in itself builds confidence, improves that. And then they can take those areas of confidence and that improved energy, and that's where it starts impacting their life in other areas. You know?
Yes. And it impacts like work, and it impacts relationships, and it impacts like their personal self-worth. It really overall impacts everything. And you touched on something, sleep. And a lot of ladies struggle with sleep. And I love when we have a lady enter the program that's been insomnia for years, right? And within a few weeks, they are regulating, getting 7 to 8 hours of consistent sleep. And they are thrilled. I get messages in the morning of exactly how much time they slept, because it's hours longer than what they used to sleep before they got their metabolic system back and, started healing it, and started following, our recommendations for nightly rituals and things like that to keep them on track. But sleep is such a huge part of health and wellness. And I think a lot of people forget that, and they think, oh, I can just run on 4 hours, but really the damage that causes to the body overall.
Yeah, because a lot of people do. They've put themselves in this I can run on 4 hours mentality. And you're right. Your body will run on 4 hours of sleep because it has to. You're forcing it to. But we all know that, there's the 3 different meridians of recovery during your sleep time, and each of them lasts about 2 hours, and they're an hour apart. So if you take 3 times 2, that's 6, and then you put an hour between each of them, that's 8 hours right there. And so if you're depriving the recovery, because that's ultimately what sleep is for recovery, then you're depriving your body's ability to do what it needs to do. And with anything, it'd be no different than if I said, Kylie, go pick up that box and move it 100 times and don't stop. You'd get tired and you would need to rest. But then if I said, well, you don't get any rest, then it's going to start, joint pain's going to set it. Like, it's those types of things as well. And so that's why the overall arching of health and wellness, and why it's so much a part of our first core area of life that we cover inside the LEAP method. Because if we don't have those things, we can say, okay, now we're going to focus on these other core areas, but you're not even cognitively available.
Exactly.
We're not even physical, but cognitively available.
Yep.
And I actually had someone who's not inside of our program. They are inside of our free community here, but they reached out to me, and they're searching so much for a solution to all the digestive issues and all of these things. But there's this sense of, and I can tell from just speaking with her, there's this lack of confidence. And the confidence comes from her ill health and wellness. And that's why we have to start in this area, because we have to have those micro changes that happen in your metabolism, which give you more cognition, which gives you more physicality, and ability to do the other things that you may have, as a person, have put on the back burner because you lost that. And it doesn't feel good to be unhealthy.
No, not at all.
And you can touch on that because you were in that position.
Oh yeah, it was, it came with like depression, and I didn't want to go and see anybody that I hadn't seen in a while, because I didn't want them to see what I had become and what I looked like. It wasn't me, and it was embarrassing. And instead of like really understanding that people in my life, if they're important enough for me to have in my life, are there to support me. And those ones that weren't, I needed to eliminate them from my life. And really that's when my life started going into a different direction, when I started surrounding myself with people that were like-minded and were on either a similar journey or had been on a health journey. And so I just started building a better support group around me. And finding that health and wellness, not only with my community, but within myself, really started elevating my life in so many different ways. And I know we're going to touch on all of those other points, so I'll be happy to share those as we go along the way. But overall, just the mental health and wellness that I have from going through LEAP, and physical health and wellness, being able to go out and physically do things that I couldn't have done a few years ago. It's incredible, and it's thrilling every time I do, and I don't take it for granted. Like, I am grateful every time that I complete a run, because it's something that I've been able to work with my body to get my body to be able to do and have that focus.
Yeah. And with health, so many people focus on, okay, I have all of whatever, I'm on high blood pressure medication, I'm on all these medications, or,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to just touch on that because we have people in our group that they've been physically active and going to a gym for a long time and they love working out.
Yeah.
But they noticed their weight was not, their body composition, not even weight, but their body composition wasn't where they wanted it to be. And so there's something that is off. There's something that's not right. So it's not, you don't have to be a person who has 50 pounds to lose. You can be a person that really doesn't have any weight to lose, but you know that the composition and where things were tighter at one point, with your skin and with whatever, your arms, whatever it might be. It's like, where and why is this happening? Well, it's poor metabolic function. So let's dial in that metabolic function. You have a client that you're working with where like working out was never an issue, and working out is the least valuable. I mean, yes, we're designed to move, but it doesn't create health. It enhances health. So if you're an unhealthy person, you doing a ton of working out isn't going to do you any good anyway, because it doesn't help an unhealthy person. It helps a healthy person. And so, but she's really been able to see changes in her mental health as well as her physical health too, by being in our program. And which I'm sure has improved then too, her workouts. But where I was going with that was
she raves about it.
Yeah.
She raves about it. The energy, having the best workouts that she's ever had, the people that she's working out with are noticing the changes in her energy and how much she's able to endure during her workouts. Like, it's noticeable changes, and she's losing inches all over her body, which is thrilling for her, because that's been something, even though she's working out consistently, she wasn't seeing those inches come off of her body where she wanted them.
Yeah. And she had worked with a high level, cause she's worked with a high level coach, in the past on her nutrition, and she saw results for a little bit, but then it was, again, much of the same. And I know for myself, I worked with a high level coach too, that was for my performance, but then it ended up deteriorating my metabolism and going in the wrong direction as well, just as it had done for her. Yeah. And so it's really neat to see that, again, it's something for me is not right. It's not something like, I don't have to be a person who has to lose a ton of weight. It's something for me, and I don't feel right. I'm not getting proper sleep. My body composition isn't where I want it to be, or whatever your thing is. As we age, if we haven't been doing the necessary things when we were younger to keep a healthy metabolism, we have to get focused on those things. And that's nutritionally and health and wellness wise that we do that. But on the mental side too, we do have people that get into this program and they are like, cool, I'm going to just like get my nutrition on track and I'm going to create some success. But then there's some awakening that happens. And actually one of the gentlemen that is in the LEAP method as well, I had just had a conversation with him about like all of this emotional stuff started coming up for him. And, and obviously for men, they have a tendency to not want to have that happen. But he's embraced it and he's going through, and it actually came from a loss of a family member a few years ago that he truly never really grieved about. And it's allowing him to explore that and go through that process, which is releasing a lot of other things. And so which impacts you physically as well.
It does.
And I think with some of the clients too, that you're working with as well, like when they have those mental breakthroughs and those deep emotional level breakthroughs, all of a sudden, like the next week they'll lose like 3 pounds when they have.
And that is so true. It does. But, it happened last week. I had someone that was struggling with some personal loss that was going on and was able to release that and focus where she needed to focus. And her scale dropped 4 pounds.
Yeah, because it does. It physically manifests. And if we don't learn how to create that mental health as well, that we're in control of who we are as human beings, and the external things are external things, but where are the skills and tools? Let's learn those skills and tools. Because unfortunately, the reality is unless you come from a family that had the skills and tools and they've been being passed down through the years, you have to choose to be the cycle breaker of, I don't have the skills and tools, but I want to have the skills and tools so I can begin that change in my family to where they have the skills and tools, and my kids' kids and my grandkids and my so on and so forth can start having skills and tools to better navigate life.
Yes. And I think that that's a great point. Like, we do provide a lot of tools in our group here, and if they choose not to use these tools that we're providing in these units in the training, and I think that the metabolic spectrum one that you mentioned is a great one for people to watch. I tag a lot of people in this one, but they're tools, and if you don't use the tools, then what's the purpose of having them?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the tools but you don't know how to use them in your life, that's when coaching comes in, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep. And that's exactly it, because even myself being in the health and wellness industry for 24 years, there came points where I was like, okay, I have a lot of knowledge, but how do I take this knowledge and put it into action? And I didn't know, and I had to seek out a coach, because, I did a live probably a couple months ago about how like Oprah was a big proponent of, and you can like Oprah, not like Oprah, like that's here nor there. It's not what this conversation's about, but how she always, like, one of her most famous quotes is knowledge is power. And I bought into that because I was like, well, the more I learn, the better I'm going to be, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't about the knowledge. It was about the actions and the tools from the knowledge that can be created. And so I call bullshit on that quote, because knowledge, like, you can Google anything, and 99% of it's bullcrap that's out there. But if you can figure out a way to decipher, which is why we have this group, so we can decipher the truth and actual health and make an impact and not be sold into all the garbage that's out there. But when you have that, binge watching our videos or any other stuff that you want to binge watch, great, now you have knowledge. But what are you going to do with that knowledge? And if you don't know what to do with it, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay. But then you have to be willing to make it a priority to invest in yourself, to learn how to use the skills and tools that are available to you. It's no different than, I had one lady, she's like, I want to invest in you guys. She's in our program now, and I want to invest in you guys. And she goes, and I am totally viewing this as it's like my next college education. And I said, that's a great way to view it, because once you invest in it, you're never going to have to invest in another thing. Because she had already spent probably $10,000 in the last 3 years on things, on personal trainers, on gym memberships, on supplements, on all these things, and she's like, this is how I'm going to view this. And I like, when she said that to me, it just hit me. I was like, yeah, why not? Like, that is the best, like, it's the best way to view it. But ultimately, like I said, like, this core area, and I know we've been kind of all over the board, and that's what's great about these coffee and coachings, because we can be all over the board with it. And again, watch this whole thing so you can pick out the pieces that best resonate with you, but without the aspects and changes of health and wellness. And we don't say health and fitness, because the fitness, again, is exercise, is movement. You know how to move, go take a walk. Because ultimately, when you're super unhealthy, that's what you need, and then work on gaining the correct knowledge, and then working with a mentor or a coach to get you on the track of the healing process, mentally and physically. So in a couple weeks, like your ladies, oh my gosh, I don't have this digestive issue. I don't have, somebody had just posted, one of our Lisas, because we have many in our group. She had put in, I think in our chat group, or maybe even in a comment in the inside of this group, that she doesn't have menopausal and like PMS issues and those types of things too. And she's only been in the program, I think, for 4 weeks, and that's another sign, because doctors are quick to sell you on, hey, you got menopause, let's go put you on this and do this and do this hormone and that hormone. And all of those symptoms don't even have to take place if your metabolism's healthy. You just go through it and you're like, cool, I'm in menopause, or, or all this premenstrual breast pain or anything else. But then even in touching on guys, like ED problems, that's a metabolic issue.
Mm-hmm.
But they're quick to sell you on whatever, sound wave therapy is the newest one. I'm like, cool, they're going to put music on your penis, like, and then the pills and, and all of these things. And every time I see any of that stuff, I'm just like, this is a simple metabolic issue that can be corrected, and if we just start correcting those things and healing the health so you can have wellness.
Yes.
Like, it's like
such a better life. It really is. And so
yeah.
I know you mentioned Lisa. She also messaged me that she loves milk and yogurt, which is something that she has not been able to eat for years. And now she's eating it. And so not only is she having better, like with her menopause, but now also able to eat things that her body hasn't tolerated in years. So, and you're right, she's at week 4.
Yeah. And actually, you said milk and yogurt, and one of the other clients just mentioned that to me this past weekend. Had sent me the same, and they're like, it's amazing because all the time doctors are like, well, you're lactose intolerant. And, and then
so quick to say that.
right. And then, lactose free type products were actually developed by a group of doctors, go figure, because they were like, cool, well, we'll just sell this stuff, and she was like, and now I have I drink milk every day. She's like, I drink milk every day and it never bothers me. And I was like, yeah, because your metabolism is healthier. Your digestive system is healthier.
Yep.
It all functions. And dairy is one of the easiest and best proteins you could put into your system because it's the muscle meats that are harder. And that's why we focus so much on a combination of easier proteins to digest, so you can get proteins and you're not sitting here eating 5 pounds of chicken, because you know how many coaches out there are like, you need to eat 200 grams of chicken and a big huge pile of broccoli. And I'm like, cool, yay. To have another plate of broccoli and chicken.
Yes.
And so
not looking forward to eating, and it becomes a chore instead of something where you can sit down and enjoy your nutrition.
Exactly.
Your body needs.
Yeah. And the way we have LEAP set up, the first 12 weeks in LEAP 1.0 is all the foundations to start, yes, we give you specific things to eat during that period because we know those things and how they're laid out through that 12-week period is going to allow for your body to begin that healing process, the foundation of that healing process, and then in LEAP 2.0, we take that foundation and we begin to build on it and start educating you on becoming better equipped for planning that process and for making it so it's just a part of your integrated life. And then we start getting into what are the best ways to put nutrients together, and beyond LEAP, when we get to that third phase, what are the best ways? The best ways to put all of that together for you as a human being, so it's not a chore, so it's not like, oh my God, I got to log all this stuff and it has to be this exact macro or all the other things that are taught. It's about, let's get you into a range of food and foods, because our ladies, they do have brownies, they have ice cream, they have burgers, they have tacos.
They get
have
variety.
Yeah, all these things. And it's about taking you from that foundational phase through the process. So all of your favorite things can still be integrated in your life, creating a balance, but then ultimately an ease of maintaining health and wellness.
Yep.
And how cool is it to be able to eat that stuff?
It is.
I get jealous sometimes when other people are cooking their stuff, because I'm like, I look at our group and I'm like, I need to go to your house.
Well, I love it too when the ice cream shows up in nutrition. The excitement, like, are you kidding me? Is like real ice cream? I can go to the store and get ice cream, and I love that when then the ice cream pops, because yes, you get to eat like a person. You don't have to be deprived of anything. We just have to get your metabolic system functioning healthily, and then you can process those things again.
Yep, absolutely. And so that is why the health and wellness is the very first core area of life that is a necessity, because without it, we don't have anything. You can't function as a human being properly. You can't function as a better and most awesome spouse or partner or parent or coworker, or even enjoy life. Like, if you're dead every day at 2:00 in the afternoon, that's not living. You should be tired at 8:00 when you should be going to bed, not, oh, it's 2:00 and I don't know what I'm going to do. And and then I'm reaching for some stupid caffeinated
energy
beverage.
Drink.
Yeah. That energy drink type of thing that all it does is just trick your body into thinking it has energy because it revs up your heart.
Yeah.
So, but so that really is, that's the foundation, is your health and wellness. And then from there, it's all the other 9 core areas of life, which, like I said, I think we'll touch on those every other week, and we'll just, we'll do, pull some things from the group and be able to just have these live chats so that all the people inside of this group can again, learn how to better utilize what we're giving you for absolutely free, but then the importance of investing in yourself. And because when you truly invest in yourself, it will be the last investment, you know. And I was a personal trainer for years, and I help people work out, but that's what personal trainers do, is help people work out. They don't, which is great for a healthy person who might want to do stuff like I do, you know, or whatever. But if you're a person who is not happy with where your energy is at, your confidence is at, your overall arching health is at, whatever that might be, or you're on borderline of stuff, or you have weight to lose, like those are metabolic things that need to be fixed. And you're not going to find that from a personal trainer. And unfortunately, you're not even going to find that from the nutrition people that doctors' offices have. Like, they're there to provide nutrition in parameters that fit the agendas of why you're at the doctor in the first place.
Right.
You know, which I could get on a whole nother scope of that, because I had a friend that her daughter has since passed away, but she was born with a lot of congenital issues, and she knew that it would be a very short frame of life. But she came to me with her daughter because she's like, this is what they said I should feed my child. And I was just, both of us were just like, she's like, I'm not okay with this. And I was like, I would never do that. Like, the child already has to be tube fed, and then you're going to go put this in that child's body. How is that going to make them last longer in life? Like, it's just, So again, you and I could sit here and talk for 10 hours on how effed up the entire health and wellness, well, I don't even want to call it health and wellness, health and fitness industry, supplement industry, pharmaceutical industry, food industry, the list goes on. But ultimately, health and wellness is your first core area of life to be the main focus, to get things, then it just snowballs for the rest of them. But the nice thing is, with the LEAP method, which is our lifestyle enhancement and achievement process, it encompasses all 9 core areas so that you can become your best human being. So,
it's an incredible journey. I love watching and coaching these ladies along the journey. I personally love taking the journey, as I say all the time. Like, it was completely life-changing for me. And it really is a program that enhances your life in all aspects. So I love doing these coffee and coachings. I love being able to share what we have to offer and the tools that are available to these ladies. And I hope that after watching each of these episodes, they're inspired to go out and actually use the tools. And if they don't know where to start, we're here. They can DM us, reach out to us, and, you know, let's get on a call. Let's start going.
Absolutely. So, so any of you who have spent, I mean, if you're watching the live, of course, give us a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, a hashtag replay. But ultimately, comment below and, you know, tag Kylie and say, hey, Kylie, I want to see that metabolic spectrum training, or hey, can we chat? Because I really do want to move forward. And I have the tools, but I'm not sure how to fit the tools to create my greatest health, to improve the other 9 core areas of my life, and so on. So we appreciate each and every one of you who spend the time with us to watch, because we do enjoy this. I love it. I look forward to it. And like I said, we are going to go weekly, except for probably the Monday after Christmas, because it is the holiday week. We'll see. We'll let you guys know, because we may shift around time a little bit as well, and do some things. But we are going to start doing these weekly. And so also too, if you have any questions that you ever have and would like us to bring up inside of our coffee and coaching, feel free to shoot a DM over to Coach Kylie, and she'll be happy to get that on our list of topics that we can talk about. And Kylie, I appreciate you always taking the time away from your busy coaching schedule to sit with me and have these great discussions. I thoroughly enjoy them, and everybody make it a fabulous Monday, and we will talk to you very soon.